Hello everyone, and welcome back to another GR Live. It's me again, I'm hosting. I realise now that the audio is still playing in the background, but it's gone now. Yes, as you can see in the previous screen, we are playing some Kerbal Space Program 2 today. Now, usually I like to talk a little bit, but I figured with this one, let's just dive in. You know, I could talk all day and waffle on about what Kerbal Space Program 2 is and how how it's different to the original. But I think the best way to really show that is to simply play the game. So, instead of me waffling on, we're going to dive right on in. Let me just get some things sorted here. Bang, bang, bang. Right. Now, I have not played Kerbal Space Program 2 as of yet. So this is going to be a completely fresh playthrough for me. Meaning I'm going to be doing... I'm going to be doing the onboarding experience, we say, as a whole, which is one of the new things, actually, about Kerbal Space Program 2. It has a sort of, or maybe not new, but maybe improved parts of Kerbal Space Program 2, is that it has that sort of iterated onboarding feature. Before I do that, though, I have been fiddling with the audio settings, but this ambient music is really nice, but I'm going to lower it a bit more, because... it's kind of kind of blasted. But anyway, single player. Start a new campaign. Difficulty normal. Campaign name. The campaign. The with two E's. Let's go with the with two E's. The campaign. Agency name. Space Force. Agency colors and flag. Ooh. I think that really suits it, doesn't it? So, oh, okay, I was thinking it would change that, but no, it's going to change, like, other parts, isn't it, of course. So when I think of that, should we have... you know, let's go with like a nice deep purple, right? And on top of that, a sort of like quite a fluorescent sort of pinky colour. We'll do that. First time user experience checked, because we're going to need that. There's other ones we could have chose, but I think that one kind of fits the Space Force tag. But yeah, let's crack on. Bit of Kerbal Space Program 2. This is an early access game, of course, so there is the chance that there are some bugs and stuff that we'll encounter. If we do, we'll just keep going. Cutscene! Oh, video.
Your new space program, leaping forward into the cosmos. Since the dawn of Kerbal kind, we have looked to the sky and wondered what sublime mysteries lie hidden in the darkness, like jewels never beheld. These untold treasures may soon reveal themselves due to the efforts of recently founded Kerbal Space Program.
Oh my, I think that might have been the only copy of the orientation film. Hold on! Slides, somewhere. Welcome to your first day running the Kerbal Space Program. This campus hosts the greatest ever gathering of astronomers, astronauts, and engineers. After years of focused effort, this collection of geniuses has created several very impressive buildings. We believe we have all the necessary pieces to take our first steps off the ground. The best way to advance our technologies further is to get up there and learn by doing. All we need now is somebody to show us how to put all these parts together. Well, we also need somebody to help us out with the flying. We need a lot of help, actually. That's why you're here. My name is Paige, by the way. If you need any hints, feel free to visit me over at the training center. Everything in there is well padded, so it's a great place to get up and running. Welcome aboard!
We're in. Alright, hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Center. This campus has everything you need to turn your fledgling space program into the stuff of a legend. Our engineers have created a training program that will guide you through building and flying your very first rocket. You can go through those lessons here at the training center. Which we'll go to in a bit, I guess. If you want to start building right away, the vehicle assembly building is where to be. I guess we should probably do this. The training center is where we go to learn how to fly and build and fly rockets, planes, and rovers. Lessons take place in a simulation. You can start a lesson anytime, even in the middle of an active flight. When you're done, we'll put you right back where we found you. Alright, well, let's have a look. Space is the plane. Build, launch, stage, and land a rocket in a suborbital flight. To learn the fundamentals, we all have to start somewhere. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's learn to build rockets.
Space is the place. So you want to get to space. Have you tried rockets?
Well, but we're here to try.
Rockets use fuel and engines to create thrust, which propels them forward. When a fuel tank is empty, it is dropped to stay as lightweight as possible, allowing the rocket to go even faster. These tanks, as well as other expendable parts of a rocket, are called stages. Different stages do different things. Often the first stage is very powerful, with just enough fuel to get the vehicle through the atmosphere. The second stage usually has a low-thrust engine that, while not as powerful, is more fuel efficient. After dropping the heavier first stage and leaving the atmosphere, the second stage engine pushes the much lighter second stage to orbital speed. On a flight to space, the final stage parachutes back down to the surface, ideally in one piece.
Okay, this seems easy. No way this goes badly. No way. Alright, okay. Oh, wait. Might have pressed the wrong button then. I think I meant return, but...
Welcome to the launch pad.
Okay,
As you
here we
embark
go.
on your journey into rocketry, it's important to get all the crashing out of your system here in the simulator. It really cuts down on the awkward phone calls. Today, you'll be launching into the virtual skies over KSC, where you'll learn how to control a rocket.
Alright.
Let's learn how to rotate the flight. Great. You can also zoom the camera in and out.
Got it.
Nice. Go ahead and pick your favorite view for this launch. Your rocket is ready for launch. Every good launch starts with a big green
Kinda want it
button
zoomed out a
and
bit, you know,
lots
like
of
that.
fire. Most bad launches do too, actually.
Let's go! We're off. Pretty good rocket, all things
Looking
considered.
good. Ascend to 1,000 meters, and then we'll learn some controls.
We're getting there. Halfway. Now. 2, 1. Alright, we're at 1,000 meters.
Okay, you're a kilometer up. You can still crash, but you'll have more time to correct your course if you start pointing at the ground. Let's learn some rocket controls. When flying a rocket
Right.
or a plane, we have specific terms for moving. Pitch tilts your rocket's nose up
Okay,
and
yeah,
down.
cool, cool, cool.
Nice pitch.
Oh, back up, back up, back
Let's
up.
move on. Yaw steers your rocket left and right. Now yaw to the left. Excellent.
Oh!
Now for the final control.
Oh, it's so difficult. Okay, we're good.
Roll rotates your rocket clockwise and counterclockwise. That's the basics of rocket flight.
Yeah, that's easy, isn't it? Yeah.
Experiment with the
Flying a
controls.
rocket's easy.
Move on when you're ready.
I'm ready. I could be an astronaut.
So you want to get to space. It's time to make a rocket.
Let's do it,
A
Paige.
simple rocket requires 4 crucial components: a command module, fuel tank, engine, and parachute. Let's start by learning how to add a command module.
Alright, so this is where they're going to be our Kerbals are going to be sat.
A command module allows us to control our vessel. As long as there is at least 1 command module on board, our rocket will be operational. This
Depends how
rocket
big
will
of a
use
rocket.
a command pod, which can be manned by a Kerbal and is located in the pods category. Or
It says-
multiple Kerbals. It all depends on the crew capacity of the part.
I guess we want just a single one.
For this lesson, we're going to make a great. It doesn't look like much, but it's a promising start. The next thing our rocket needs is a fuel tank. How about that one? Rocketry Weekly called. Notice the part is one. Now that's beginning to look like a rocket.
Easy.
Well, almost. We need an engine. Here at the KSP, we have 4 different types of engines: launcher, sustainer, orbital, and deep space engines.
Oh, okay, right. So, launch is going to get us off the ground. Sustainer's going to then get us going further. Orbital should break orbit, and then deep space is for, well, traveling through deep space.
Now let's add the sustainer engine to the fuel tank.
Wait, no, go back.
Excellent.
That looks like a
All
great
right,
rocket.
this is really great.
Are you sure?
Just need one final touch.
I wouldn't
As
get in
is,
that.
A rocket can absolutely take flight, but if we want our pilot to survive the landing, our 1 Kerbal rocket. Now all we need to do is put it on top of the command. Congratulations! You've just built a rocket. Are you sure you haven't done this before?
It looks more like a missile than a rocket. Hey, I'm not getting in it. If I'm not the one getting in the rocket, then we're all good.
As you start to build
Here she
rockets,
is.
you'll want to see your designs from other angles. Let's learn how to manipulate the camera inside the vehicle assembly first. Nice. Great. Now you can also focus your camera at a specific part.
Middle click the mouse. Middle click.
If you want to view your rocket from the
Yes, let's
top,
scroll wheel, I guess.
front, or sides, switch to blueprint mode. You can change the camera. If you ever get lost in the VAB, you can always reset the camera.
The home key. I don't think I've ever used the home key
Nice.
before.
Now you can get at those hard to reach
You live
parts
and you
of your
learn.
rocket.
Cool. I mean, we could do better than that, I think. Better than that rocket.
Your rocket's ready. Let's take it out for a little hop.
Let's do it.
Let's move this rocket to a launch pad.
Take it to the launch pad and see
Welcome
if this
to the
thing can
launch
even
pad.
crack 1,000
Today
meters.
You'll be flying straight up. Your rocket should do fine without any steering inputs. But if things get out of line somehow, feel free to intervene.
One small step for Kerbals. One giant leap for Kerbal kind. Here we go. It's got some pace to it. Wow, look at it go!
You've cleared the launch tower and your flight is underway. Let's learn about staging. Rockets are constructed in sections called stages. Each stage is designed for a different part of a mission. When a stage completes its job, it's dropped to shed weight.
So this is why we need multiple engines, right? If we want to
On
like
your
crack
right,
orbit.
You'll find the staging stack. It displays all of the functions contained in each stage. Every time you select the Go button, you'll activate a new stage, starting from the bottom of the stack.
Okay.
Each stage's fuel supply is shown on a bar next to the stage. Your active stage, Stage 1, still has a little fuel in it. When it goes dry, you'll drop that stage by selecting Go.
I'm guessing it's got those numbers there because I pressed all those buttons a minute ago and spawned a bunch of different stages. So I'm guessing that should be 1, 2, 3, 4. But so yeah, one's still got a little bit of fuel left, and then once that's done, then we move on to this stage here. Which I didn't think I put any other engines in this
Your
thing.
rocket needs all its
Oh, there's got a little tiny one.
Please try again.
Oh, what? What did I do?
Your rocket's ready. Let's take it out.
Let's
for
try
a
that
look.
again.
Let's move this rocket to a launch pad. Welcome to the launch pad. Today you'll be flying straight up. Your rocket should do fine without any steering inputs.
Right.
If things get out of line somehow, feel free to intervene.
Okay, let's go. Skip the countdown. Yeah, the numbers are right this time at least. Burning through the fuel quite quickly.
You've cleared the
Yep.
On your right, you'll find this. Each stage's fuel supply is shown on a bar next to the stage. Your active stage, your first stage is out of fuel. And
Right,
all
this
it
is what I
doing
missed a minute ago.
slowing you down. To drop that weight, you're going to activate your next stage. That will activate a decoupler, which will drop your empty stage. It will also activate your next engine. Once you activate a stage, there's no going back.
So,
Ready? Hit go to lose that mass.
there we go. Valentina's about to pass out by the looks of things. 12,000
Congratulations.
meters
You're
off the
nearly
ground.
to space, and your next set of fuel tanks are empty. Now is a good time to drop them.
Let's do it.
Activate the next. Your capsule will now continue coasting up. All that's left to do is gaze back down at Kerbin and wonder if you remembered to lock your car. Nice work.
Oh, cool. Space travel is so easy, man. It's crazy. People always said this is really hard to do. You need all these degrees and stuff. Kerbal's proving them wrong.
Your capsule
Anyway.
has a lot of momentum. If you're curious how high up you are, take a look at your altimeter. You're so high that you can see the curve of the horizon.
Curve?
Rocketry involves a lot of waiting between the cool explosions. You can speed up time by selecting the time warp controls at the bottom of your screen. Check out your altimeter. See how quickly those numbers are rising? Let's ride the rest of the way up and fast forward. You're about
Whoa!
to start falling back down. Let's slow down and enjoy the view. Great job. You're now a master of time. Try not to use this new power for evil.
Kind of surprised I'm still in orbit. Well, I'm not in orbit, should I say. I'm still going at quite a good speed, to be fair. Let's move to the next one. What goes up must... Oh, it's put me close to the ground.
Down. Wind resistance will slow down your capsule's descent, but not enough to prevent it from turning into a bunch of tiny capsules when it lands. That's why we've attached a parachute.
True.
If you deploy your parachute too early, it'll be torn off. If you deploy it too late, you'll do some unplanned underground exploration. The sweet spot for Kerbin is between 20,000 and 2,000 meters.
20,000... That is a large margin.
Okay, you're low enough to activate the final stage that contains your parachute. Hit go to
Here we
pop
go.
the chute. Nice work. The parachute will trail your capsule for a bit without fully opening. Once you've slowed down enough, it'll open all the way by itself.
Getting a bit close, are we? Parachute. 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 Whoa!
Your parachute is now fully deployed and slowing the capsule to a safe velocity. Congratulations! If this were real, you'd find celebratory snacks in the VAB kitchen.
Quite a pretty scene, isn't it, that? Alright! Not bad. I think that's proven that I'm ready for space travel. Let me just check before we do anything. That was like the first... Oh, that's the wrong thing, my bad. Training center. That was like this entire thing done. Oh, you know what? I might do the rest of them just because we're here. Right, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do the rest of the tutorial so we're properly ready for a space exploration.
Missing the ground. If you want to visit space for more than a couple of minutes, you'll need to get to orbit. An object is in orbit when it's moving sideways so quickly that even as gravity causes it to fall, it keeps missing the ground. As long as that object isn't slowed down by anything, it follows the same path every time it goes around the body it's orbiting. Forever. If that object is a Kerbal, it is recommended that they bring lots of snacks. So since your goal is to move horizontally at a high speed, why not launch sideways? On Kerbin, the atmosphere is like a thick soup. You waste a lot of fuel trying to fly through it horizontally. By launching vertically, you cut through the thickest part of the atmosphere as quick as possible. Most orbital rockets begin tilting toward the horizon soon after they leave the launch pad. This maneuver, called a gravity turn, uses the planet's gravity to turn the ship and reduces the amount of fuel needed to achieve a stable orbit. When launching near the equator, your gravity turns should point toward the east, since your vehicle gets a free boost from the planet's rotation. Thanks, planet! Once a vehicle is moving quickly enough that its arc will take it above the atmosphere, it shuts down its engines and coasts to space. Once it nears the top of that arc, the vehicle needs to fire its engines a second time to keep itself from falling back down to the planet. Doing this turns that arc into a nice big circle. Congratulations! You've missed the ground.
Okay. I feel like there's a slight step in difficulty here. For one moment, I thought I could have been in an aeronautical engineer or whatever, and now I'm starting to doubt it again. But either way, let's crack on.
When you're making a rocket, it's often easiest to work top to bottom, tailoring each stage to carry the weight of everything above it. To give you a head start, I've already placed an upper stage, perfect for maneuvering in the vacuum of space. It could use another, more powerful stage to push it up to space from Kerbin's surface. Let's turn this vehicle into a multi-stage rocket.
Let's do it!
Anytime we intend to drop an empty stage after using all of its fuel, add that decoupler to the bottom of your... We need to attach a larger, more powerful lower stage to the bottom of your rocket. To keep things simple, I've whipped up a new lower stage in another workspace. Out in the real world, this list would show all of your saved workspaces. Now that the lower stage has been merged into your current workspace, you can see it next
Oh, there we
to
go. We've got a more
perfect.
complete rocket now.
Merging is a very powerful tool. Anytime you want to reuse a particular booster, lander, or other element from an existing rocket, merging saves you the hassle of making the same thing over and over.
Alright. We've got a better rocket here. More complete rocket. Something that should be able to get us up into orbit.
Space rockets sometimes need an extra boost. In a rare case of rocket scientists naming
Alright, we want to
something
stick
well,
these on the side.
these additional rocket engines are called boosters. Boosters are attached to the sides of a vehicle to keep them out of the way of the main engines. Solid fuel rockets make great boosters. They produce a very high thrust for a short time. Let's attach some boosters to the sides of your vehicle.
Okay.
We'll start by attaching 4 radial decouplers that will eject the spent boosters when they're empty. To
4
make sure that
radial
these decouplers
decouplers.
are evenly spaced and aligned with one another, you'll be using the symmetry tool.
4?
Great. Now when you place
This
the
one
part
here?
on... Good. Now
Oh,
attach it as
okay.
shown.
I see.
Perfect. Now you've got... Let's attach those solid fuel boosters.
We want, which one? These ones here?
Since you're still in 4x symmetry mode, simply attach this booster to one of the decouplers Great job! You've finished your orbital rocket. You can symmetrically place up to 8 parts at once. A feat that could until now only be achieved by certain sea creatures.
Okay, okay. It's all starting to come together.
Before you launch a rocket, you need to plan the order of your staging events. Nobody wants to start out their flight by popping their parachute, right? Most parts that can be staged are automatically assigned to stages. Their activation order can be seen in the staging stack. You can change when staging events occur by moving them between stages. You can also add, remove, and reorder stages. Best of all, you can do this in both the VAB and in flight.
Alright.
The staging order begins at the bottom of the staging stack. You want your boosters and main engine to fire together for maximum thrust. The solid fuel boosters are currently in the second stage. If we don't change anything, the boosters will ignite late and detach. Your solid
Done.
fuel boosters burn very hard and very fast, so they will run out of fuel first. Even though your main engine and boosters will activate at the same time, you want to drop the empty boosters before you drop your main engine.
Click the
You'll
plus
add
to
a
the
new
left of stage 1.
Above stage 1 to do one. Now move all 4 radial decouplers from stage. All done.
Done.
Your remaining stages are set up so that stage 4 will activate your orbital stage's engine. Stage 5.
Oh, okay,
will
that was
detach
fairly
the orbital
straightforward
stage
actually.
at
I get what it's saying. Makes sense.
All right, we're ready to light this candle. In this flight, you're going all the way to orbit. I'll walk you through the process of launching, executing a gravity turn to get moving sideways, coasting to orbital altitude, and doing a final burn at the top of your arc to establish a stable orbit.
I love how chill it is. It's like, oh, you're just going to orbit. Like, okay. Right.
Before we begin, let's talk about the nav ball.
The nav ball,
The
which is
nav
this thing.
ball shows your vehicle's orientation relative to the horizon. The blue half of the ball represents the sky, and the brown half represents the ground. The
It's
level
all blue.
indicator at the center shows your
Always
vehicle's
was.
orientation. When you turn, the ball turns. When you roll, the ball rolls. Assuming you want your rocket pointed at the sky, you'll want to see lots of blue on the nav ball. If you get confused, remember this rhyme.
Ah,
If the nav ball's brown, you're going down.
right. I get you. It's a good thing that it's blue.
At launch, you want all your engines at maximum thrust, which means you need to set your throttle at 100%. Your solid fuel boosters are way ahead of you on this. They have no setting other than full throttle, and they can't be shut off once they're lit. Once you hit the go button, they'll go full tilt until they run out of fuel. Still, your main engine's throttle is in your control.
Okay.
You can see your main throttle here.
Yeah.
Left shift gradually increases your throttle. Left control gradually decreases your throttle. Z and X instantly set your throttle to 100 or 0% respectively.
Oh, I can do it with a click instead.
Click on the throttle will set its level where you clicked.
100.
Your fuel levels
Okay.
are visible within the staging stack.
We are ready to
Right
blast
now,
off
you
again.
can see that your main engine and 4 boosters are all topped off and ready to rumble. It's time to go. At the start, all you need to do is fly straight up. I'll check back in with you once those boosters are empty. Good luck.
Let's go. Oh! We're almost out of fuel already. Barely got me 4,000 meters off the ground before they kicked out. I guess 5,000.
All right, the solid fuel boosters are empty. Let's drop them. It's time to start your gravity turn. A gravity
Yes, my
turn
gravity
uses
turn.
the pull of the planet's gravity to help bend your vertical ascent into a horizontal arc. It's the first step to entering orbit. For our first flight to orbit, we're going to start our gravity turn up to where the air is thin, at an altitude of around 10,000 meters. To show you where to aim your rocket, I've placed a target marker on your nav ball.
Okay, so I've got to...
First, we need to get to 10,000 meters.
Oh. Fair point. Right, now that I'm there...
Yaw towards the east.
Now I've
so
got
that
to...
the target marker is in the center of the nav ball. Your vessel and nav ball should look like this example video if you're performing the gravity turn correctly.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. We're there.
Your current stage's fuel is empty. Let's drop it and activate your deep... Great job. Your rocket is on its way to orbit. As you gain experience, you can make your gravity turns more efficient by starting to tilt your rocket soon after liftoff. Adjusting course with a series of small corrections instead of one big one will leave you with a lot more fuel when you get to orbit. Turning immediately after launch requires a very stable rocket. So if you ever have trouble keeping the pointy end up, you can try the simplified wait and turn method we use today.
Okay. Let's see how far we can get to space a minute. I think I'm nearly out of fuel. Yeah, that's kicked out. So now it's just the capsule. I'm gonna crack 100,000? 100, well, 100 kilometers. Cool. Alright, next one.
Right now, we're on a ballistic trajectory. If no further adjustments are made, your rocket will eventually fall back down to the ground. Our objective is to turn this arc into an orbit. The process of turning your trajectory into a circular orbit is called circularization. Partial credit to the rocket people on that one. It does have the word circle in it, but it's really hard to say. When planning and executing orbital maneuvers, you'll want to switch to map view, where you can see every part of your current trajectory.
Okay, this is map
The blue
view.
arc passing through your vehicle is its current trajectory, the path your rocket will follow if you don't touch the controls anymore. Our goal is to make that arc into a circular orbit. After you've coasted nearly to the top of this arc, you're going to point forward, and then you're going to ignite your engine. If you time this burn right, you'll never quite get to the top of the arc, as it'll keep widening in front of you until it wraps all the way around the planet.
Okay.
Let's break that down a little more.
You please
Top
do.
of your arc has a helpful tag in map view. It's called the apoapsis, abbreviated as AP. You're going to max out your throttle before you pass this point.
Can I zoom in a bit? Oh, here we go. That'd help. Okay.
We're paused at just before the apoapsis. We want to go faster in the direction we're already moving, so we need to make sure our rocket is pointed forward. There's a handy marker on your nav ball called the prograde marker. Once your trajectory reaches all the way around the planet, you'll see another marker on your orbit. This is the periapsis, or PE, the lowest point in your orbit. It'll always live on the opposite side of your orbit from the apoapsis, or highest point. By burning prograde near your apoapsis, you increase the altitude of your periapsis, the lowest point on your orbit.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Here's the most important thing to remember about setting up an orbit above an atmosphere. Your periapsis must be higher than the atmosphere, or your rocket will start to slow down every time it dips into the upper atmosphere. On Kerbin, that means every part of your orbit must be higher than 70 kilometers.
Oh, we nearly made an orbit.
Keep your eye on your trajectory for now. Okay, your orbit is fully out of the atmosphere. Cut the throttle. You did it! You're in orbit!
Did
This
it?
is when I'd usually tell you to
I'm a
go
rocket
in your
engineer.
seat in the simulator, where you'd find a delicious celebratory treat. Sadly, since the vending machine in the astrodynamics lab broke down, it has gotten very difficult to hide snacks anywhere at KSC. Feel free to take a moment to admire your first orbit. In a way, you've given yourself a mind snack, which is way better than the edible kind anyway. Right? Right?
I'm a rocket man. I've done it. I've conquered the stars. Okay, I think we have 2 more things left. Orbits again.
Orbits are weird. Remember your orbiting baseball? What if you wanted to make its orbit higher? Well, it's a baseball, so grab your bat and try to hit the ball to a higher orbit. Your first thought might be to try to deflect the ball upwards. Unfortunately, hitting the ball upward bends its orbit so that it hits the ground before it can return to you. What you need to do is hit the ball in the direction it's already moving, adding to its already high velocity. Now that you've sped the ball up, why isn't it flying any higher? It just keeps whizzing by at the same height it always did. After all, I said that making it go
this
faster
poor guy,
would
man.
make it go higher.
Oh, what a disaster of a lunch.
The ball is actually going higher, but it's going higher on the opposite side of the planet from where you're standing. You've raised its orbit, and you've learned the first lesson of orbital maneuvering. Your actions affect the opposite side of your orbit. Weird, huh? So your ball is moving faster, but it's still passing you at the same height. How do you get its orbit higher on this side of the planet? Now that you know how changes in velocity affect the other side of your orbit, you've got all you need. By adding velocity to the ball at the highest point in its orbit, you raise the lowest point in its orbit and make it circular again.
Oh, okay. Right. Right, that makes sense. I feel like I'm back in physics class right now. This is great. Learning all these sciencey tidbits
An
and doodads.
equatorial orbit is good, but if you want to travel beyond, remember how you circularized your orbit by increasing your forward velocity?
Circularized. It does
To
sound like a
raise your
fake
orbit,
word, doesn't it?
you'll just
But
do
it
more of
isn't.
the same. It's time to burn prograde.
Right, prograde.
Now that we're pointed the right way, we can increase the
100%
throttle
throttle.
and watch our orbit expand.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
Ooh,
Right.
Cut the throttle. If you overdo it, you'll nice. That maneuver raised our orbit on the other side of Kerbin, so we will enter high orbit there. Waiting to reach a specific point can be as eventful as watching the neon stripes on your rover dry. The paint job will be worth
Right.
it, but isn't it better to rush to the... Like I said earlier, the highest point of our orbit is called the apoapsis. The lowest point of our orbit is known
So
as
I want to
the
get
periapsis.
to the
By
apoapsis
default,
here.
your camera is focused on your vessel.
Oh,
So if you can't see
that was good timing.
adjust your camera. Scroll the middle mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Double-click an object to center your camera on it. Click the middle mouse button to enter FreeCam. Press Home to reset the camera to your active vessel. Excellent! You can time warp to any position on your trajectory by selecting a point on your vehicle's current path, and then selecting Time Warp to Point.
I've done that. I feel like I've got ahead of myself a bit here. Woo!
Now you're way up in the sky, so high that if you circularize your orbit now, you'll be in high orbit. Wow, the black starry void
Okay.
looks so small from
I did it a minute ago. This is Kerbal and there's Kerbal. Moon. Alright. Did it. I'm an orbit genius as well now.
From command pods to space probe cores, a lot of critical rocket parts use electric charge. You'll want to design your rocket so it can generate and store EC.
And how do I do that?
Most rocket engines generate electric charge while active, but we'll still need a way to keep our batteries full while coasting between maneuvers.
Okay.
Solar panels convert Kerbal's light into EC for our rockets. Small solar panels can just be placed, but large solar panels are delicate and must only be deployed once we're out of the atmosphere. I've equipped this rocket with 2 deployable solar panels. Here's a hand crank. Get to work. Just kidding. There's a handy... Great. The solar panels are now extended.
They popped out.
Light tracking solar panels only rotate on one axis, so we may need to reorient our ship to point them full. Excellent. The solar panels are soaking up all of those sweet photons and giving our
Oh,
rockets some
yeah, I get what he was saying
much-needed EC.
about rotating.
You can see the status of any solar panel within the part manager in the electrical parts menu. You can either access the app directly by clicking the app button, or you can right-click a part to directly access it in the part manager. Getting EC is one thing, and storing it is another. Most command pods have a small battery, but many missions will call for additional EC storage. When we're traveling far from the sun or going to the dark side of a planet, more batteries means more peace of mind.
Okay, cool. Cool. It's somewhere in there, but I can't really see because the thingy's over it.
At some point,
Right,
the crew
map view.
will remember how we burned prograde to raise our orbit? To lower our orbit, we burn in the opposite direction, retrograde. SAS can really help us out here, so let's turn that on. Now flip retrograde, the opposite All right, the rocket is aligned. As we decelerate, watch what's happening to our periapsis. Once it enters the atmosphere, this rocket is on a path back to the ground. Don't ease off the throttle yet, though. We're gonna keep burning until our trajectory intercepts the ground. This should give us a good idea. That's it. Let's stop our burn.
Okay, that's excellent.
Now that we're on a collision course with Kerbal, we need to turn that collision into something more survivable. This process of crashing without dying is called landing. Our upcoming stage will activate a decoupler, dropping the engine and exposing a very important heat shield. Why don't you do that now?
Discard the engine by staging the rocket. I forgot what button that was. What button was it to destage a rocket? Oh no!
Great. We're on
I thought
our
I
way
pressed that
down,
early.
and
Might
our
have been
heat
wrong.
shield is exposed. Have you ever wondered what a marshmallow feels like when it catches on fire? You're about to find out.
No! I pressed replay like an idiot! Oh! Right, I have to leave. We'll back out of this.
At some point, the crew will run out of snacks.
All right. Last thing, orbital transfers going, and then we're done with the onboarding, really.
Orbital transfers. As you know, the faster you go, the higher your orbit gets. If you get moving fast enough, your orbit may cross the orbit of some other object, like a moon or a planet. The closest celestial body to Kerbin is the Mun. If you're looking for somewhere else to fly a rocket, the Mun is a good choice. The real trick to getting there is timing your departure so that the Mun captures your vehicle at its highest point. If you mistime your departure, you may miss the Mun entirely, which creates a lot of paperwork. Let's assume you've left at the right time and the Mun is there to meet you. As your vessel approaches the Mun, it enters a zone in which the Mun's gravitational influence on your orbit is stronger than Kerbin's. This zone is called the Mun's sphere of influence. You've had to go very quickly to escape Kerbin's gravity, much too fast for the Mun's low gravity to capture you. If you don't slow down, your vehicle will speed past the Mun and be flung farther into space. Remember what I said about paperwork? Once you're in the Mun's gravity well, the best way to slow down is to fire your engines backwards until your trajectory becomes a nice, stable orbit. Now you're a moon of the Mun! Ha!
I mean, it's all easy in theory. It's in practice that things start, you know, becoming more challenging.
Our rocket is in orbit over Kerbin and ready to fly. The mission today is to, drumroll please, intercept and orbit the Mun. To be captured by the Mun's gravity, our vessel must cross into the Mun's sphere of influence, or SOI, the zone in which its gravity is stronger than any other celestial body around it. We're going to create a maneuver
map
plan.
view.
Great! Now here's a new trick. We can select any object as a target in map view. Targeting gives us useful information and enables new tools. Once we've targeted a celestial body or other object in space, our maneuver will provide closest pass and plane angle information. This can be very helpful for meeting up with someone or something in space.
Okay.
Right now, our camera is following our vessel as it orbits Kerbin. Let's adjust our camera until we can see the Mun. Then, right-click to target it.
Set target.
We want to place this maneuver plan with two things in mind. First, the Mun is in motion. We can't aim our spacecraft where the Mun is right now. Instead, we have to aim where the Mun will be after our vehicle has coasted all the way from Kerbin. Second, remember how increasing velocity raises the opposite side of our orbit? Since we're placing this maneuver plan where we intend to start our burn, we should place it on the opposite side of Kerbin from where we intend to intercept the Mun. Placing a maneuver plan usually involves making a best guess, and then fiddling with the maneuver until you get an intercept. Fortunately,
create a maneuver plan.
Excellent. We've just created a maneuver plan. While we could find out if our departure timing is correct by just picking a direction and maxing the throttle, a maneuver plan tells us in advance how much delta V we'll need, how long we'll need to burn, and in what direction our vessel will need to point during the maneuver. Grab and pull the arrows to plan a burn along that direction. This maneuver is pretty simple. We want to burn prograde and expand our orbit.
Burn prograde. We're pulling the prograde marker. Which one's the prograde one? Prograde is it's the circle one. The problem is I'll keep flying away. It's that one there, this green one.
Nice.
Whoa!
That maneuver event towards the end of your trajectory is exactly what we're looking for. It tells that if we execute this plan, we'll intercept the Mun.
What?
If a maneuver looks right, but we're not getting the intercept we expect, we can change the starting position of the maneuver by grabbing and dragging the middle of the maneuver plan along our orbit. It's very common to refine a maneuver plan by adjusting both the position of the maneuver and the direction of the planned burn.
I'm so confused.
If
I'm
we
so
don't want a
confused.
maneuver at all, we can delete the plan, either by right-clicking the gizmo and selecting delete, or through the burn timer. Maneuvers are invaluable when leaving Kerbin. Feel free to come back and practice anytime.
That's the first thing that I've genuinely been a little bit confused about.
We've got a maneuver plan that intercepts the Mun. Now we just need to execute that maneuver and fly to the Mun ourselves. Whenever we have a maneuver plan, a burn timer will appear. The timer shows you how much time is left until we need to execute the maneuver. I've paused the simulation for a moment, so this number won't count down quite yet. The timer also tells us how long we'll need to burn our engines at 100% throttle in order to complete the maneuver. Now let's take a look at the nav ball.
Right.
A new marker has joined our old prograde and retrograde markers. This is called a maneuver marker, and it shows us the orientation of our planned maneuver. We'll want to make sure that this marker is in the center of our nav ball during our maneuver burn. Luckily, now your vehicle is properly oriented. And through the magic of SAS and more math than I'd like to admit, our vessel is properly oriented. We're still far from our planned burn, so let's speed things up.
Okay.
While we could rely on our reflexes to time warp at the perfect moment, departure burn, here we come. Great! We've exited just before our maneuver burn, and I've paused the simulation once more. After we select Continue, remember to wait until the countdown reaches 0. Then we'll go full throttle until our burn timer reaches 0. Then cut the throttle quickly to avoid overshooting our target.
Got it, Chief.
Okay, get ready to hit the throttle.
So I sweat. It's getting real. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. 100%.
Watch the burn timer. We want to stop our burn once it reaches 0.
That's X. Okay, okay. This has been a better a better process of explanation than the other one. I kind of understand what I'm doing now.
Everything's looking great. Great work.
Did it?
We've successfully executed a maneuver, and now we're on our way to the Mun.
Woo! Going to the moon.
It's going to take a while to reach the Mun, but don't let the wait fool you. We're now moving faster than any Kerbal has ever flown before. When we enter the Mun's sphere of influence, we'll be going way too fast for the Mun's gravity to capture our vehicle.
Okay, so we got to slow it down.
To orbit the Mun, we'll need to burn retrograde once we're inside its SOI, or sphere of influence. This will slow us down enough to keep us from being whipped into interplanetary space.
Right, map view.
Let's start by time warping until we're within the Mun's sphere of influence. That's the sphere. Farewell, Kerbin. We'll miss you.
Almost there.
Welcome to the Mun. Did you notice that we've got a periapsis above the Mun, but no apoapsis? That's because we're going too fast to complete an orbit before sailing past the Mun. Don't worry, we have time to adjust. Our objective is to slow down enough so that both apoapsis and periapsis are within the Mun's sphere of influence.
Okay.
Remember the rule of orbital opposites, because we want to lower your apoapsis. In order to reduce our apoapsis, we need to slow down by burning backwards, or retrograde. This is a little like deorbiting over Kerbin, but we're going to stop burning before our trajectory meets Mun dust.
It's that one, right? Whoa!
Maneuver plan set.
Did it!
Next up, let's make sure we're pointed where we need to be. If the maneuver is right, and we're pointed in the right direction, now we need to time warp to the right position. And we're on our way.
Alright, now I've got to do...
Almost there. When the countdown reaches 0, throttle up to start your capture burn.
Okay. We've nearly successfully completed this maneuver. T-minus 15 seconds. Full throttle, full throttle, full throttle.
Throttle up now. Keep burning until the burn timer reaches 0.
Done.
Shut the end. Fantastic. That was some
I got ahead of
fancy
myself
flying.
again.
Looks to me like you're about ready to try this for real.
Okay, nice. That's actually ended really well because we're sort of right at the end of the stream now. We did all the tutorial, all the onboarding stuff, got a good look at what we can do in Kerbal Space Program 2. But yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap up for the day. So yeah, that's Kerbal Space Program 2. If you want to check it out, it is out now in early access, only on PC. But it will be, I believe, coming to other platforms in the future. Although, not exactly sure when that'll be, because as we know, it's just entered early access, meaning it's probably going to be a little while before it exits early access. The early access plan as well, if I'm right in saying, includes a lot of very interesting things, including colonies, interstellar travel, all this other stuff that's really going to push you. So, well, what we've seen today, no doubt, seems quite demanding. It's only going to get harder. So, make sure to jump in, check it out, the game, get up to speed with it, because it's quite an interesting game as well. It's not just a challenging game, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. It teaches you a lot about aerospace engineering and all that stuff. But yeah, let us know what you think about Kerbal Space Program 2, and otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow now with another GR Live. So yeah, thanks for joining me today on this one, and well, I think it'll be Rebecca tomorrow, so I'll probably see you next week now. But yeah, cheers guys, and take care everyone.